What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Bucco Territory presented by the Foul Territory Network. I'm your host, Noah Hiles, and joining me, as always, I just saw the back. Josh Harrison.
You asked for it.
And Mark Platinum Key. I don't think it was my career batting. This is my senior year.
Oh, okay. Well,
career's a lot lower. I had a horrible slump my junior year.
That's a nice graphic, though.
They're going to get a lot of texts from my high school baseball teammates calling BS on that graphic. But guys, well, let's talk about some actual baseball here rather than the Burgettstown Blue Devils Hall of Fame right fielder. We got a good show. Winter meetings are coming up. The next time we record, we will have news. I don't know if it'll be Pirates news, but by the time we record into next week, something will have happened in winter meetings. It could be a national story, and we can find a way to localize it, or maybe the Pirates will be involved. I mean, our next show is set to air on a Tuesday. I believe the Monday evening of winter meetings last year was when the Pirates made their big deal and traded Luis Ortiz for Spencer Horwitz. So we'll see. But, the national story is where we're going to start. It's always interesting to go cover these big events like the All-Star Game, the GM meetings, the winter meetings, because when you're a local beat writer, you're thinking of localized stories, but you get a first-hand taste of the national narratives when all of the media is together as one, and you have access to Commissioner Manfred and people from the MLBPA and all these different people around. And I think it's safe to say that the big national story that's going to come from this is going to be the salary cap. And it's ironic because last year, the big national story was Juan Soto signing the most lucrative deal in the history of professional sports. And now the big storyline that's going to be entering this year's winter meetings is going to be maybe a system in place that can prevent a Soto deal from ever happening again. I'm going to open up the floor now. We'll start with Josh. Do you expect this to be a big-time narrative next week? And should it be a major conversation, regardless on your personal feelings of it? Do you think that this deserves attention?
Do I think it'll be a national story like that crazy? No.
No?
Yes, there's going to be some attention brought to it because obviously as things are coming to light over the past couple of years, there's been a lot of conversation about teams not spending and whatnot and a way to, make more teams, spend competitively or whatever you want to call it. But I don't foresee anything really moving the needle to where it's really going to make anything drastic happen because it's something that's always been talked about, but I don't see it being talked about any more than what it has. Granted, I know with revenue and everything going up and people, looking and keeping account of money and where it's going and this or that, especially the differences of organizations, it's going to cause for some concern, but this is what it's always been. So in my eyes, I don't really see it being too much because that's something that's going to be talked about obviously when they come into the next CBA, which is not too far out, but I mean that's something that comes up every CBA, so it's something that I would say that I'm not going to really worry too much about.
Mark, the Pirates fan base is pretty gung-ho overall on the idea of a salary cap. I think there are some people who maybe recognize that it's not going to fix everything, especially with this franchise. But where do you stand on this? Do you want this narrative to remain present? Do you want this to remain a focus because you believe it can make the Pirates more competitive?
Yeah, I mean, it obviously would benefit the Pirates to have a salary floor. This is a team that's bottom 5 in payroll almost every year, so if the level of that bottom 5 is higher because of a salary floor, that's great. But who knows how much that actually changes things. If it's a salary floor of $100 million, okay, the Pirates are going to spend 10, 15 million more a year. Cool. That doesn't really change anything when the Dodgers are spending 400 million and paying 100 million luxury tax. I mean, the 2025 Dodgers are set to pay, I think, like almost 130 million in just luxury tax this year. That's more than the entire Pirates payroll this year. That's just one team's luxury tax hit, more than the entire salary cap of another team. So there's historic levels of imbalance. I think that's what's more frustrating with this salary cap. I mean, back in 1994, the salary cap was the issue that caused the lockout then. And we're still arguing about these same issues. They haven't gone away. But now it's more, we're seeing consistently teams that are top 5 in spending are the ones in the World Series. And you're never going to see the Pirates be that top 5 spender. So as a fan, it's like, well, what is my team ever going to have a chance? And that might drive people away from the sport. So as a Pirates fan, I definitely want to see some kind of action, because the current luxury tax, or however they want to label it, just doesn't incentivize teams enough to actually build a winning roster.
I'll say, as a baseball fan, I would rather see conversation between the MLBPA and Major League Baseball ahead of the negotiations, rather than both of them stating their cases to us behind closed doors and letting us write 40 to 50 million articles about it, and then going on ESPN and stating their specific cases, and then getting one-on-ones with national reporters, and going on and carrying on. And then they go into clubhouses and they both say what they have to say, and stuff like that gets leaked out, and you hear about the Phillies and how they got in Rob Manfred's face. And I would rather than everyone going everywhere else to state their case as to why this works, why wait until a year from now when this collective bargaining agreement expires? It's 363 days from now, actually.
December 1st,
but yeah, December 1st. So why, if when you see the looming storm ahead, right? Like it's clear, everyone is saying there's going to be some form of a lockout next year. Hopefully we still get baseball. Hopefully it doesn't even impact spring training. Who knows the extent of it? But if you're on either side, like, shouldn't the goal be to, like, maybe start talking about it now? That way you can get into the negotiations with at least some common ground. That's not going to happen, clearly. But that's what I would like to see. And I hope that there's some more of that type of narrative moving forward. I hope some people who have a bigger voice, a bigger platform in the baseball community, perhaps encourage both sides to maybe get together and start preliminary talks now, before the thing expires. That way, when it does expire, which won't be a big deal, if you want to lock everyone out on December 1st, that's fine. But I think it'd be productive for everyone to at least have some sort of agreements heading in, saying, okay, we at least have a starting point. Because if you're starting from scratch a year from today, when the negotiations like officially begin, that's not good for anyone. That's not good for the players. That's not good for the sport. That's not good for the fans. It's not good for people who get paid to write and talk about the game either. So that's what I would
willingness to come to the table and talk.
Yeah.
Would everyone, because right now all the rhetoric is just like from like the MLBPA. They're like, zero chance we're ever agreeing to a salary cap, which that's what you want to say when you're negotiating. Fair.
Yeah.
But it also kind of isolates and makes things a little bit more difficult when you actually do show up at the table. So we'll see.
Yeah.
It's a touchy subject.
It certainly is. Josh, I want to ask you before we move on to our next segment. One of my most memorable experiences from covering baseball my first year, your last year in Pittsburgh, was being in the clubhouse while you guys were watching those final hours of the trade deadline. That was the pretty infamous trade deadline in Pittsburgh. But do you guys sit around and watch the TV during the winter meetings the way you guys do during, the trade deadline? Obviously, it's totally different, but do you tune in to like MLB Network during those 3 or 4 days over the winter and see what's going on?
Me personally, no. Some guys might, but honestly, I think your best source of information is going to come from your phone. Just because there's so many different people that's down at the winter meetings, whether, guys like yourself know, sometimes players themselves go. So I think a lot of the information you might find is going to be more internet based. You don't know how much of it is true, but every time you turn around, you're seeing a tweet. Oh, I saw these two teams meeting. I saw this GM meeting with that. Same things that you're going to get when you turn on the TV. But, the winter time is when, guys probably aren't around the TV as much. They got their off-season program where they're working out, they hitting, doing whatever they do to fill their time to get ready for the season. So it's a little easier to be around the TV during the season when it's trade deadline because they all in the clubhouse. But during the off season, guys, I know myself, I found out more information probably just from my phone, like Twitter and stuff.
Okay. All right, we're going to take a quick break to hear from a sponsor. When we return, hear about some Mitch Keller talk.
KP, the website is chubbyshorts.com. The brand is Chubbies, but it's not just shorts.
Yeah, don't be fooled by the website's name. This is a one-stop shop for all things that I love. Swimming trunks, golf polos, and even flannels. It fits me perfectly. One-stop shop is the place to go.
Yes, sir. KP, I've been wearing their flannel overshirt. It's like my favorite flannel, and your softest sweater having a little baby. It's the best of both worlds. Classic flannel look with the warmth of a fleece, and we know it's that time of year to pull that off. The Chubbies flannel overshirt. It feels like your favorite flannel, but with the warmth of a cozy sweater. And for a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners 20% off your purchase at Chubbies with the promo code FOUL at checkout. But if it's Black Friday, skip the code. Take advantage of an even bigger markdown during their exclusive Black Friday sale. Just head to chubbiesshorts.com and make sure to support the show by telling them that Foul Territory sent you.
All right. So, guys, winter meetings, we're going to localize it now. I think the big storyline for the Pirates heading in, and we've done a whole episode on this, but I think this is the time where it could come to fruition. Mitch Keller. Does he stay? Does he go? Is this finally the time? Last year at the winter meetings is when I learned that the Pirates were shopping Mitch Keller. The Post-Gazette was the first to report that. And we were all over it, and it got confirmed by a whole bunch of national outlets, and those trade rumors never really went away. He was one of the main guys on the block last July. They obviously held on to him. But now he's one of the main guys on the block again. He's on everyone's list of top 50 free agent or top 50 trade candidates, guys who could get moved from each team. I'll start it off with you, Josh. Does it make sense for Mitch Keller to be the first domino to fall for the Pirates offseason? Or should they be looking to maybe sign a free agent first and then move Keller because they have a better idea of what they need in a return?
I think that's something that they're going to have to really evaluate because, you definitely want your first move to be something that's going to get the people excited. But not only that, something that's going to show that you're trying to win and not just talking about it. But at the same time, you don't want to, and I don't think this would happen because Mitch is going to, as you say, he's going to be sought after by a lot of teams. I don't think you necessarily have to worry about, we got to rush to trade him. Not meaning that you're going to hold on to him, but you might have a better opportunity to make your big splash before you trade him because, there's going to be people calling left and right. It's a guy that's going to go out there and take the ball every fifth day and going to eat innings. He's going to be wanted. And if you do want to deal him, you don't have to do it right away. You can make your signing if you need to be aggressive that way.
Mark, what do you think? Is it going to happen or no?
I really do. I think so. It's the perfect time. You have a lot of teams that are hungry for starting pitchers. You can make this trade maybe now before a lot of teams make those moves and secure. You might have the most options right now to trade Mitch Keller. But at the same time, it might depend what the Pirates are looking to get back. If you're trying to get one single player MLB caliber, maybe it makes sense to make that Keller trade now. If you're trying to patch in a few, maybe just league average guys to gap fill for Keller, multiple players, maybe you wait for that so you can build around that one centerpiece that you do get in free agency. There's a lot of flexibility, but what are you expecting, Mr. Beat Reporter? You're the one that's going to these meetings. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not going anymore. A different assignment now, so I'll be covering remotely like you guys. But the more I think about it, the more I do think he does get moved. I agree that I think the Pirates, I don't know if I want to say anxious, but I do think they feel pressure to get this ball rolling.
Yeah.
Last offseason, they intended to make a lot more moves. I've heard from a whole bunch of different sources about other potential signings they had in the works, other potential trades that they just couldn't get to the finish line. And that can't happen this year. So I think that they don't want to go into, the week before Christmas without any move of significance being made. So, and I think Keller's the easy starting point, right? Where I just think financially, the Pirates aren't going to be the first team to kick down the door of a big free agent deal. They're probably going to let the top tier spenders go in and get the top tier.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they're going to see what's remaining within their price range. Now, it probably won't be a wait as long as they did last year, where it's like early February and they're choosing between Alex Verdugo and Tommy Pham, or at least they shouldn't hope that wait goes this long. But I think that they're going to wait for the big names to get picked away. A couple of them probably will get picked away in the winter meetings this upcoming week. But in the meantime, I think they can trade for Keller and they can get the best trade return possible. And then they can sit back and look and say, okay, either they just replaced his salary with a veteran making something equal, or they cleared a certain amount of salary and say they get someone pre-arb. Then, okay, well, now you have $16.5 million extra to spend. Or maybe you acquire someone
to still spend that. Where
yes, and you have plenty of time to spend it.
Yeah.
Or on the flip side, maybe you acquire someone for Keller who, like a McNeil, who is making more. So it's like, all right, well, now we have to adjust our budget. If you want to get a couple more position players, you have to pivot. And maybe a guy like Jorge Polanco or Ryan O'Hearn is no longer on the table. I don't know if I agree with the idea of Keller being the first domino to fall in the Pirates offseason, but I do think he will be the first domino to fall. And I just think it makes too much sense for him. They're going to make a move this spring or this winter meetings. I'm confident in that. And if it's going to be a move, if they move someone else besides Keller, I just don't think it'll happen. So
yeah,
that's my take on it. Real quick, let's go back again through it. Let's all guess a team. Mark, you go first.
So I'm going to try and throw something out there. I have a few teams that haven't had any reported connections necessarily, Keller or anything, but that do need pitchers. One team I was thinking was the Astros. Maybe like an Isaac Paredes, like a guy that you probably don't want him at third base, but he brings some serious power with his bat. Throw him at the DH spot. He's not a free agent until 2028, only in his second year of arbitration. So you get a nice power bat into the lineup. I think he had like 2.5 WAR, 3 WAR around there. I think you probably need more than just Paredes for Mitch Keller. But I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I could see something similar like that.
You're clearing up money. You're bringing in slug control. Yeah, I think that would probably go. Josh?
I'm still going to stick with Baltimore. Just because of the recent connections, obviously. And just, as you say, where there's smoke, there's fire. And hoping that there's a big fire, if that is the route they go. Because, they got some pieces that could complement the Pirates if they're willing to, part ways with them for Mitch Keller, who, as we said, is going to be a hot commodity. So I'm going Baltimore.
I'm going to throw a different name out there again. I know this team was interested in him in July. I'll be candid. I'm not a beat reporter anymore, so I haven't done a lot of digging. So I don't know if they're still interested in him or not. Maybe I could find out. Maybe I will. But in the meantime, keep an eye on the Chicago Cubs. I could see that making sense. They reached out about him in July. There were some connections there. I think an inter-division trade would be quite bold. But, I mean, they moved to Brian Hayes in the division like 4 months ago. So, and I was about to make the joke that, man, maybe they just trade him to go with Oscar in Cincinnati and get Brian Hayes. They need a third baseman, right? Mark,
if they bring back Brian Hayes, I'm like pinching myself. There's no chance, but, if they did, everything would be right in my world again.
I don't know if it'd be right for the whole Pirates world, but yeah.
Or even keep Brian Hayes' world, probably not. But,
or for him,
I would be happy, and that's what matters, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I think keep an eye on the Cubs. Not that I'm hearing anything, or so maybe not keep an eye, but that's my prediction. They have a lot of outfielders. They have a lot of young outfielders, and the Pirates need one of them in their lineup. So I think that could be somewhere, and the Cubs have money to spend, you would think, right? And they probably lost that division race last year because their starting rotation was a bit
pitching.
So yeah,
I'll throw one more name out just really quick. What about Joe Adell? the Angels are going after pitching. They just signed Alek Manoah tonight. I don't
Again,
know.
I wouldn't wish that on Mitch at all. Like I
Yeah.
really hope that they would not trade him there. That'd be horrible.
Yeah.
It would make sense. I mean, yeah, like I wouldn't. I
You're
wouldn't
like,
be
it makes
against,
sense for
like,
the Pirates, but you're like,
Yeah.
you want them to do him some justice, but
don't
hey,
do that to Mitch.
Yeah.
Like, put him
Yeah.
on a team.
I want to see
has
Mitch
some
win. That would be awesome. Mitch is
I
one
want
of
to
my
see Mitch
favorite
happy.
Pirates, so.
Forget winning.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
let's not send him to. Let's not send him there. You know.
Yeah.
All right. There or Sacramento. Like I feel like those are two places where.
Just be nice to him, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, take good care of them. You know,
Yeah,
especially when there's
exactly.
so many good teams interested. If they send them to the Angels, that would be
Yeah.
tough. All right, so we're wrapping it up now. I want to remind everyone to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're halfway to 1,000
Let's
subs,
go.
guys.
Let's
and
go.
I don't know, what are we at, like 10, 12 episodes in?
Yep.
So kind of remarkable. I did not expect it to go this quick. So big thanks to everyone who's been hopping on the bandwagon. We still got plenty of more seats for others to join. And we've got a reason for everyone else to join. Mark, tell them about this next week's giveaway prize for the subscriber-thon.
Yeah, so I'm a huge card collector, and I figured I'd bust out one card from my collection that I think might get some Pirates fans excited. But we're going to give away a PSA 9 if we can get the light right here. Probably not, but a PSA 9 Paul Skeens Topps Chrome rookie card, the Ray Wave refractor. So if you don't have any Paul Skeens cards, pretty nice one to add to your collection. So make sure to hit the subscribe button and then comment below, like either the Bucco Territory posts on Twitter or other social media. Reach out to Josh, Noah, myself, however you want. Just let us know you subscribe, and we'll enter you in to pick one of you to give it away to. So excited to add to someone's collection with it.
Yeah, you can be like Mr. Mertz, who won this week's.
He was very excited, by the way. I reached out to him.
Yeah, that's a
I
cool
saw that.
card.
So,
Yeah, I saw the tweet too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, and we've got better prizes coming after that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, not to
Much better.
poo-poo that card. Like that's a
No,
sweet
no.
card, and I mean the fact that
Yeah, it
you have it graded and everything, like
Yeah.
that's a good prize. That's probably better than 2 tickets, and they're gonna keep getting better
Exactly.
as the weeks go on. And we want to remind everyone again: keep subscribing, keep listening, share, leave a review. We appreciate it all. And fellas, another episode in the books. Any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Mark, you got anything?
I'm just this hot stove is heating up. We got some sparks flying tonight. A bunch of deals going. I'm excited to see what happened in the time we've been recording on Twitter. Probably another signing. So just ready for the off season to really get going.
Yeah, no, same here. I'm excited. I don't know if I'll be catching up on, TV, but I'm gonna be checking my phone while I'm going to dance practice and volleyball and stuff. So I'll be keeping up with the stove that's heating up.
I might text some agents and be like, "You want to meet up?" and then just leave them hanging, like they left me hanging all these times. So
I just
No,
want Noah's
that's-
face to be like one time when we're recording and be like, "I gotta go, guys," and be like, "Yep,
yeah,
this was
those days are done. Those
Yeah.
days are done, brother. My news breaking days are over. I'm just a storyteller now.
You
And
just have to write
a host of
amazing
this-
articles. While you're subscribing, go subscribe to the Post Gazette so you can read all of
Absolutely,
Noah's
I like that.
fantastic
Yeah.
work.
Thank
He's got
you,
some great
thank
stuff.
you.
Even if
Yeah,
you're
he
not a
does.
Pirates fan, just great sports stories, good people stories.
Thank
so
you, guys.
fantastic work.
All right.
All right.
Well, I don't handle compliments well, so we're gonna wrap up the show. He's Josh Harrison. He's Platinum Key, aka Mark. I'm Noah Hiles. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Bucco Territory.